Looks like I'm live, folks. And if you're in there, pop in. I wasn't planning on doing a live stream. I was really busy when I got home from work. I had to plant a whole bunch of stuff. I work out, and uh, and then I did a live stream because Wendy says you should do a live stream before dinner. So anyway, I got the stuff planted that I needed to plant. I got a bunch of torch lilies today, and I only planted one container of them. Like I filled up 2 garbage cans full of torch lilies, Nyphophia, which is red hot poker, is the other name. They're native to South Africa, very common here, and should grow in much colder climates. The hummingbirds like them. They're beautiful. So if you can get a torch lily at your local nursery, plant it in your garden, put them in full sun. We got a beautiful day here on Salt Spring Island, and current time is 5:23. I guess it's 5:23. Hello, Benjamin. Hello, Palm Daddy. It's 5:23 p.m. and current temperature is 10.9 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, Wendy's got a sore back. She's been working in the palm nursery every day. Now, I've been working in it too, and you know what gets me is shoveling the mixture of soil. Got to mix up the wood chips with the soil, and it's like mixing concrete all day in a wheelbarrow. So I do that a lot, and it's just been so busy and busy selling palms at this time of the year. CIA and you're under arrest. Ha! Well, I was in Facebook jail, Palm Nation. I did actually got the boot. Somebody finked on me out there. There's too many sissy Marys out there that get offended by things too easily, and I'm not one of them. So I shared something, and I didn't even necessarily say that was my opinion. I didn't say I agreed with it or disagreed with it, but it obviously pinched a nerve on somebody out there. I blocked the guy anyway. I was going to actually tear a strip off him. I said, you know what? Why waste my breath? He used to be in the Palm group, and he quit the Palm group, I think, last year because he used to whine and complain about things all the time. And he's over in England somewhere. So anyway, I blocked him. You disappeared on. Oh, really? Oh, that's strange. Yeah, not weeks ago. It was Good Friday. Good Friday. I got. I went to log in, and then I got the boot. Can you tell us what you shared? I shared a news clip. It was a news clip of a guy going through. It actually appeared on the news. Somebody said, and I watched it on YouTube. It was a guy going through Vancouver with his megaphone, talking about what's going on in the world. Really, and it was a comedian, and it obviously upset somebody. And then he posted something pertaining. Don't put this malicious BS on here. It's like you just want to smack somebody like that. I certainly do. So anyway, I got rid of him right away because it's no use in getting my blood pressure rising from some jerk like that. You know what? I like freedom of speech, and I don't like censorship. I figure you should be able to post what you want. So I think I might have posted on MeWe. I'm on MeWe as well, right? So on MeWe, it's just like Facebook, and you can post whatever you want. There's no censorship. So I'm also on MeWe. I actually do have a palm group on there called People Who Love Palm Trees and Exotic Plants. So it's exactly like the one I have on Facebook, except it doesn't have as many members, that's for sure. But once people get sick of Facebook, they can always go over to MeWe, and it's basically kind of like the same format. And you can post whatever you want there, and you're not going to get booted off. A lot of people like that are walking on eggshells on Facebook, and I know a lot of friends have been thrown in Facebook jail. This is my 5th time to be thrown in Facebook jail. My feet were killing me at work all day. Boots were basically completely oh, no way. I'll tell you what I wear. I'll show you my work boots. These, so they look like redback, but they're not redback. So these are steel toe boots, and they're super light. Like these are really, really light boots, man. I love them. And I had these ones. I bought these ones actually a year ago, and they seem to be in pretty good shape still. And I've worn them in water and stuff. I shouldn't have, like on the wet sports fields and things, but I like slip-ons now just so I don't have to screw around tying laces. Nice and quick, out the door fast to work. So I don't know what you're using, but they could be carbon fiber too, the toes. But yeah, they're super light, and I'm on my feet all day too. I forget how many thousands of footsteps I walk each day. The guy I work with kind of records it on his iPhone. But today I was actually on the tractor lot doing sports fields, mowing the ball diamonds and stuff like that. But I did come home with a bunch of torch lilies. Ripped out a bunch of torch lilies at work. One of the other guys on the mini, because we're had to take a garden out at the pool, and I planted those torch lilies 3 or 4 pots about 10 years ago. little pots, and the whole garden was full of these torch lilies. It was a raised bed made out of wood planks. So he ripped them out. So I got lots of torch lilies I've been planting. Sun is blasting in my eyes. Keeps you young. It does. I like working. It is good. And physical work is a good thing too. You look at physical work as exercise and it goes a lot easier. And my job's not that bad. I have a really good job. I love my job working for the parks department. I'm outside year round, in the trails, look after the beaches, look after the lakes. I was in the forest, sports fields, parks in town. It's awesome. We have 61 parks here on Salt Spring Island. So yeah, keeping active, that's the thing. Especially at this time in this day and age, right? I couldn't imagine being stuck in an office job. It would wearing a mask all day would kill me. It really would kill me. I couldn't do it. I only time I have to wear one is if I go into the office, and trust me, I avoid the office. I spent too much time in the office when I was a kid at school, so I don't like offices. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are having a great day out there. Um, Today, like I say, was a beautiful day. It's been very dry here, extremely dry. Why you guys start so early? Because I get off early. Starting, I've always started early. I'm there. This morning, I was there at about 25 after 6, and always something to do. So start early and get off early. My day ends at 3 o'clock, so I'm out the door at 3 o'clock, which is awesome. If I could start earlier, I would. What just flew over here? A raven. The ravens are making a nest across the street, or maybe they're using the nest from last year because there's lots of ravens around here. Yeah, I'm up early, man. I'm up before 5 a.m. every morning, and even on weekends I get up early too. I sleep. Oh no way, 7. Wow. Yeah, 7 would be sleeping in for this guy. Weekends, oh, sorry, I could get up at 7 on weekends, but this weekend I'm going to be in a course all day Saturday. I'm going for my course. You know what I mean? You have to have uh, a certificate to own one of those things. So I'm going for that. I wake up at 5 a.m. and see you're early riser too, Palm Nation. Leave at 5:30. Yeah, I'm out the door usually around quarter after 6. It only takes me about maximum 10 minutes to get to work, but I like to diddle daddly along and just go nice and slow and take my time. Usually there's no cars on the road here when I drive to work, just rabbits. I just about creamed a rabbit this morning, a deer, but I stay up. You stay up. Yeah, I go to bed early. I'm in bed at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is last night I stayed up later because I was putting on a YouTube video before I went to bed. And Wendy was watching a show. And usually, if I put on a video when she's watching a show later, it messes up the TV. So I wait. She went to bed. So it was about 20 after 9 when I went to bed last night, which is actually late for me. But like I say, early riser, I get up before the alarm even goes off. I always set the alarm, but I get up before it goes off. So you go to bed at 10. So 10, 11:30. Holy, you work on a farm. Cool. I used to work on a farm. When I lived on the mainland, I was a mushroom farmer. You know that? I was the head grower at a Money's mushroom farm for over 15 years. So I've grown a lot of mushrooms. So we used to grow over 500,000 pounds a year at the one I worked at. And at one time, I was actually sick of mushrooms because every week I could bring home bag loads of mushrooms. But you know what was the best thing about working at a mushroom farm? I got lots of mushroom manure for our garden. So I would get truckloads of mushroom manure for free. And mushroom manure is basically horse manure. So 10 o'clock's a good time. I just got to get 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours of sleep, and I'm good. Unfortunately, this weekend I'm going to have to get up a little earlier too, so I won't be sleeping into 7. Like I say, the course starts I think at 7:30 at the Rod and Gun Club, and it goes all day. And then the Sunday morning I got to go back and write a test. So I got my fingers crossed. Hopefully, I pass the test. I haven't done any studying. I don't like studying for things. You know what I mean? So it's a multiple choice test and true or false. I work on cool. Worm farms are awesome. I like red wigglers. We have a lot of them in our compost. Did you see that Jubea I got from? Yeah, nice. Gotta love Jubea's, Palm Daddy. It'll good. It'll do good where you guys are for sure. And you guys are close to the water. Won't have a problem. Jubea is proven itself long term here on many areas, especially on the islands. I don't know about the mainland. You're on the island. I know my friend Michael lost his in December 2008, and he's in North Van. He was a few blocks up from the water. And I think the -9 or 10 killed his, lost the center spear. It's pretty upsetting because it was a big jubea. We raise red. Oh, cool. So you guys, he was blowing 1 to 15 gallon ones. That's pretty cheap, $2.99. Nice. 22 Celsius, Benjamin had. That's pretty toasty. That's nice. We were not that warm here, but we were half of that. And next week we're supposed to be 20, so that's okay. I'm fine with it. I mean, it's t-shirt weather. I worked in my t-shirt today. It was a good day for working outside. And I just wish we would get some rain. It rained on the mainland, I think, the other day, but that didn't really happen here. So red wigglers, I guess you raise those for uh, fishing. Yeah, the night last night, this morning with a low temperature here was when I left for work, it was 4.1, and I just checked the minimum. It dropped down to 3.8. So I want to tell you guys something. The coldest temperatures are usually early in the morning at sunrise. Okay, and we have two Stevenson screens set up. We have a Stevenson screen down on the south slope on the lower end of the slope where it's a little colder. And then we have a Stevenson screen up in the upper garden here. So coldest temperature I could see was 3.8 degrees Celsius. When I got to work this morning, I was scraping frost, man, lots of frost. Matter of fact, it was so cold where I work at Portlock Park, about 8.5 kilometers south of here. The door of my truck was kind of frozen. That's how cold it is down there. It's in from the ocean, and it's up a little bit. And so it's April 8th today, and I was scraping frost. If you don't believe me, I got a video. I just put it on this channel. Uh, yeah, two C's not bad. Still not freezing, but yeah, the nights have been cooler. We basically completely supply timberland fisheries. Cool. That's pretty cool. So you guys ship red wigglers, man. You know what? You can't have enough earthworms in the garden. They're very good because worm castings are good, but they also aerate for you too. So, and Wendy, after a rain in the fall, you usually see worms all over the driveway. We have gravel driveways here, so I pick them up and I put them into the gardens. They're very good for the gardens. On our sports fields at Portlock down the road, sometimes you go in the morning and there'll be these big deworms laying all over the place. There used to be a guy that used to go there years ago. I remember it's probably close to 20 years ago, and I'd come to work and he had pieces of plywood set up on the sports fields, a couple pieces of plywood, and I guess it held the moisture in there. And he put the plywood on at night, and he'd come in the morning, lift it up, and it'd be full of deworms underneath, and he'd grab them for fishing. What do you eat? Yeah, I guess you feed the worms compost, eh? Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't you feed the compost, Zach? Is that what they eat? I mean, our compost is full of worms. Man, that sun is bright. I should have actually done a live stream on Wendy's iPhone. Then I could have walked around the garden. It's crazy. It's the garden. It was such a mild winter this year. Everything looks absolutely flawless. Like I said, even the hydrangeas are deciduous plants. They didn't even lose a leaf. They have still last year's leaves on them, perfectly green. That's how mild this winter was. Yet this morning it snowed on our local mountains on Salt Spring Island. There was snow. I talked to my friend Amarita today in town, and she says it sure was a cold morning, wasn't it? I says, well, yeah, it was cool. Wasn't that bad? And she says, well, they woke up to snow up on Mount Belcher. So, but that's 1,000 feet up too, right? It makes a difference. I guess you lose a few degrees every 1,000 feet you climb, right? That's the way it works. And if you're near the water, it's going to be a little cooler in the summertime, but it's also going to be a little bit milder in the wintertime. I smell steak. Wendy's doing steak right now, man, and I'm dying for a steak. So, yeah. So what do they do with them? It's for fishing, right, Zach? They do those worms for fishing. Is that why you guys ship them all over? I was happy to see Michelle, my friend, my pal Michelle in Nova Scotia, just received the palm seedlings I sent her not that long ago. I think I just sent them last week. And I was expecting them to take a lot longer because you know what's going on in the world. Everything takes longer, everything's slower. And she posted a video on people who love palm trees that she actually received the palm seedlings already. Michelle has been a great gal. She's bought a lot of palm trees from me over the last couple of years. I've shipped her tons of palms and hundreds of seeds. And she's not the only one in Nova Scotia. There's a lot of customers I sell palm trees to in Nova Scotia. But you know, as well as I do, that in Nova Scotia, they do need winter protection. You're going to have to box them in and put some heat. The powder feed we use is basically, cornmeal. Cool. It is a weird spring. Definitely coolish, Palm Daddy. Definitely coolish. I think daytime highs normal should be around right now 14, and lows, I don't know what, maybe around 5 or 6, but definitely below normal temperatures. That's for sure. But next week's going to change. It is supposed to get up, I heard, 20 degrees. So We'll just have to wait and see. 20 degrees, I'm fine with, as long as it's not that warm when I'm taking my course. I want it to pour down with rain when I'm stuck in the building. And then Monday at work, I have a first aid course. So I have another course to take. So it's like 2 courses in a row and 2 tests in a row, which kind of sucks. I don't like courses and I don't like tests. I like hanging out in the garden. Tornadoes. Oh man, stay safe. I bet you got one of those tornado. Do you have a tornado cellar, like a storm cellar? So if it gets really bad, you can go down into that storm cellar. I'm sure you do, right? Tornadoes would be very scary. It was breezy today down by the ocean, and it was, I was working down in the Fulford Valley on the very south end of the island. I was mowing the ballparks and look because the baseball season's starting here, and I drove past the olive farm, Salt Spring Island olive farm, and man, the olive trees look so amazing. So there's about 3,000 olive trees there, and so he's planted more. So on the upper slope, you got all these mature olive trees. They're nice size ones, and then down a little bit lower, you got another probably 500, 600, and then there's another 8 or 900 down on the lower slope, but they absolutely look beautiful. And apparently they claim they make the best olive oil. I haven't tried it yet. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. So I'm going to try some sometime. I've been threatening to try some of the Salt Spring Island olive oil. There's actually an olive oil processing plant right at the olive farm. So they have a website. You guys can check it out. It's called the Olive Farm on Salt Spring Island. I know the owners, George and Sherry Braun. They actually live just down the road from me here, but the farm is 70, I think it's 80 acres. It's 80 acres down on the south end, on the very south end on the slopes of the Fulford Valley, right? So cold down here. That's where they grow the blueberries, and the olives are here, and then there's commercial vineyards all around them too. So, but they look really nice. And when I was there, when I drove past one time in late October, I stopped in and they were harvesting. I shot a video. They were actually harvesting olives, and it was an early season last year. Usually they harvest in November or even into December, so they were quite a bit early. And I think they had bumper crops for sure. I tried one of those olives off the olive trees, and it's the most disgusting, grossest thing you'll ever try is an olive off an olive tree. They got to be soaked in brine first before you can eat them. Fried Star of Crimean Black. Oh, cool. Okay, that's we have few varieties here. I grew some from seed years ago. The first olive trees I planted here, Palm Daddy, were back in the early 1990s. I grew them from seed and I planted them around a bocce pit for a guy. He was a rich dude from California that had a place up here, and he had this bocce pit. We landscaped it for him. We had this landscaping crew where I used to work, and I planted my olive trees around his bocce pit. They were probably about maybe yay big, but now they're big trees. That was, like I say, well, I grew them in the early 90s and I planted them 1990, maybe 94, maybe 95, something like that. But then a friend of mine looked after his garden, took clippings off him, and started all these cuttings from them. So I actually have one from those cuttings in the garden. And I'm trying to think of the variety. We have 2 olive trees here I'm looking at, and then we have one in the front yard. We have one in the upper garden a bit, and then we have about 3, maybe 4 in the back garden. We have a bunch of olive trees. You know what's bad? You know what's bad? What is bad? When you I will do a live stream on Banana Joe maybe Friday. Star of Crimea. I'm trying to think of the name of the olive palm, Daddy, the species name we have. It's a common one too, and it's a hardy one. They're pretty hardy trees. Your highs are my lows. Yeah, and it should be, because really, you think about it, being this far north in Canada, don't you think we should be covered in snow? We are in the Great White North. Don't you think I should be live streaming from an igloo? So it even surprises me that we can grow palm trees. I mean, look at the palm trees behind me. And we don't have hundreds of them here. There are thousands of palm trees on this property. It would take you forever to count how many palm trees are on this property, and that is no lie. And one day, if you ever visit Salt Spring, well, we'll show you. It's yeah, it's this far north. You got to remember, 48 degrees north latitude. It makes a big difference. But I tell you right now, that sun feels really good. It feels really nice on this south sun deck. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm liking it. Anyway, Palm Daddy, I'm glad you got that jubea. I think you have a couple of jubeas, don't you? We have one jubea in the ground. I grew that one from seed. I got the seed from Locarno, Switzerland, and it's okay. It's got a trunk on it about this big, and I had one years ago. I imported from California back in the late 1980s, and it used to do really well here until I decided I thought I would move it to a different location in the garden. So I dug it out, and it was late October, many years ago, and then we had a really bad cold snap in November, and it didn't like it. It didn't like the move. It was my bad moving it at the wrong time of the year, and it just declined. So anyway, the one that I have here that I grew from seed from Locarno, Switzerland, is absolutely doing fabulous. They're great palms. Just one. Okay, cool. Well, it'll do very well for you. And in a really bad winter, if you're really worried about it, you get some mini lights, not the LED lights. Just string those LED lights or the mini lights through it. Sorry, and mini lights, and plug them in through the on the coldest nights, and it'll do good because you don't want to lose the center spear on a jubea. There's one growing in Grace Point, and then the dimwit gardener transplanted the other one, and it died. There was one there, it was absolutely beautiful, had a trunk about like this, and she transplanted. She also transplanted the sable miner. I'd like to take my foot and stick it so far up, or you know what? It makes me so mad when people do stupid things like that. And then I planted some more palms. They cut down a 15 to 20-foot palm at the entrance after they cut down those 75-foot eucalyptus trees. So they cut down this big palm tree. So I replaced that palm with 3 more palms. So then they hire this new gardener. She digs out my palms and she plants a dogwood tree there and some stupid, ugly spruce tree. You know, I still never met that gardener. She's the one that took most of the fronds off the jubea and off the sable rosei. So I left her a note on the side of the jubea, and whether she read it or not, I don't know. There's one palm in there, a trachycarpus. She's cut every frond off of it, and it's just center spears. You know, that just shows me she knows nothing about palm trees, and apparently she claims to be this master gardener and a landscape architect. You know what I mean? People like that really upset me, and I don't know if I ever want to meet her because I probably will tear a strip off her. I heard she's not a very nice person anyway. So I think I'm a pretty nice person, but I don't like people like that screw up plants. Nice plants. What's that? Dinner? I think she says dinner, which is weird. Getting sunburned. So what is it? Oh, awesome. Look what Wendy made. Getting between 27 and 30